Just let you know we're live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, the Raw Perspective page. Good morning, Lays Elliott page, and all my Google pages. Good morning. I didn't advertise this. Don't worry about this, y'all. We never advertise so much yet, but we're just starting to open up slightly. You can. I'm going to check the pages so we can go live on all different pages. Make sure you join my Raw Perspective page. I want to try to drive some traffic to that as well, because that's more than my friends. That's just a page. Good morning, everybody. Unks here. What's up? How y'all doing? I had a good weekend to really talk about things and everything. I'm not going to write too many notes down today. Today, we're just going to talk off the cuff. But I do have some very important conversation to have this morning. And I think it's important that we do that. Who am I waving to? Easy Breezy's online. I expect that. So I'm coming in live on YouTube as well. At 5:30, I'm gonna stop playing this. What I'm playing over here, because it's in Sweden. You don't understand it. Let me just kill the sound on this, because that will be annoying to you guys. Hear the sound. Good morning, everybody. Young's here. Let's go. Got some powerful discussion to have this morning. It's going to be a little risque, and I want you to understand that when we're having this discussion, we like to get to some common understanding. And sometimes even myself, as I get into these discussions, I come in with one view, but I always leave myself open to be able to. I always leave myself open to be able to change my views during the discussion. It's perspective. So we like to have these perspective discussions so that, ultimately it's policy deciding and policy making, and it doesn't really. It's a malleable perspective. So let's just pay attention. Good morning, everybody. Young's here. Let's go. Let's get some music in at 5:30. We're gonna jazz it out a little bit until 5:30. Then I'm gonna come in with the hard stuff. Good morning. Yeah. I'm gonna get y'all up easy. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. Not gonna go crazy with it this morning. From artificial intelligence to super intelligence, the future of humanity. That's something to think about, huh? Oh yeah, we're gonna poke the bear this morning. We're gonna poke y'all a little bit this morning, and we're gonna talk about a few things this morning. First of all, last week was great. I want to thank everybody for all the great conversations last week we had. Shout out to my sister, Korean Coco Linton. She was just awesome. She was great last week. She was a great guest last week. So I want to just give her props. And just let her know that she has a home over here. And I even talked to Easy Breezy last week about this over the weekend about bringing her on OSG. I think it's only right. We support talented people. and she's a great instructor, a great teacher, an inspirational story for young women out everywhere. Single mother coming to this country and just hitting the ground running, being a part of history and observing what we are, and was able to reconstruct it via fashion, and now through her culinary talents, Corinne Coker Litton, Turning Your Sours to Sweets on Amazon right now. Make sure you go purchase that book. Another great individual. Also, we want to shout out my brother Drez from the group Black Sheep. He's got new records coming out every week. He's got a big project coming up with Jay Dilla, the legendary, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. We also celebrated Biggie Smalls this week. The birthday of Notorious B.I.G. We celebrated him. My question to you is, as great as Biggie was, he was one of the greatest of all time. And I'm not going to give Biggie the greatest of all time that everybody tries to give him. I'm going to say one of the greatest of all time. And I'm a little biased on that because I would give, if you were to make that Tupac comparison, I would give Tupac a little higher standard than Biggie because of his civil rights approach to how he moved. And not to take anything away from the great Notorious B.I.G. It just I didn't see him, and that was maybe as he would have grown further down the road, as he learned more. Like if Biggie would have learned more, I think he would have gotten there. You know what I'm saying? Like he would have gotten to where he was getting to. Beanie Long, good morning, Beanie. Good morning, sis. Great show last week. We had Drez from the group Black Sheep on, as I was saying. Had a great weekend, too. We were up in New England for the pudding and graduation ceremony of my brother, the great doctor, now Dr. Dennis B. McKeezy. Dennis Barrington McKeezy. I like that. If that's not a West Indian name, I don't know. I don't think we'll accept Barrington. Yeah. So that was a great weekend for him and his family, and I was very humbled that they invited me to be a part of that. 5:31. Let me go into some regular music now. I was very humbled that they invited me to be a part of that. It was humbling. It was a real humbling experience, and I gotta tell y'all, man, it's pardon the background today. We have not landed yet. We are landing soon into the new space. So we will land soon. Have to work out the details. I'll tell you all about it. I'm very transparent. I'm a very, very transparent person. So I'll tell you all about it once I'll tell you all about all of the drama once it all lands. I'll tell you all about it. It's just ridiculous. But it worked out. And it always works out, Paul. Let's get a little music in here this morning. Unction in the building. 5:32 in the morning, Monday morning. Yona, let's go, y'all. It was hot this weekend, wasn't it? 90 degrees, 92 degrees. It was popping this weekend. Oh, man. I hope you guys got out there and really enjoyed yourselves. That was real. Just in case. Hey, let's get them. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Up in the way, like our Superman, voice of the city, can be a party pooper man. Smooth out, I'm bringing the groove out. That's right. I'm here now. I'm moving these dudes out. Lying down the block. Shout out to Keoki Wooten Johnson and her beautiful daughter. I think that's the prom picture. It's always great to see these babies grow up, huh? Good morning. We're gonna have some interesting conversation this morning. I'm letting you know right now. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a little controversial, so hope y'all ready for it. Out here, let's go. Let's get them.
Two-step if you got it. Let's work. Come on. Two-step if you got it. Real trust. 2, 3.
Hey, let's get him.
Come on. Alley-oop. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Come on.
Somebody take a jump shot.
Come on. Here we
Somebody
go.
take a jump shot.
Let's get him.
DJ Capone. One time. Come on. Real track. Here we go. Everybody, come on. Party shit. Come on. One time. Come on. Everybody.
Let's turn up Monday morning.
Come on.
Turn them up Monday morning. Let's get them to Monday morning. Let's get it popping.
Do it in the mirror. Go shorty, do it in the mirror. Go shorty, do it in the
Shout
mirror.
out to my man Randy James.
Go shorty, do it in the mirror. 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 Go shorty, do it in the mirror.
Let's pump that music up. Let's go, y'all. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Let's get them. Come on.
The way you work that, shake that, moving all around. You twerk that ass in the ground. You might wanna holler, I'm the man around town. Everybody all know S&S puts it down. Come on and show me the way.
Fixing the microphone. That's all.
Real tracks, what you say?
Go shorty, do it in the mirror.
Go shorty.
Do it in the mirror. Go shorty.
Monday morning, 5:35 in the morning. Let's get them. For my morning yawnings. I have my other keyboard out here, so the Y doesn't work. So it doesn't want to type yawning in the text. I feel like I'm on tour, like I'm setting every day. I'm setting up.
Go shorty, do it in the mirror. Go shorty, do it in the mirror.
My coffee today is oat milk latte. It's oat milk latte. Oh man, I tell you, it's wild. It's wild. This wild this morning. Let's get them, y'all. Good morning, Unction in the building, everybody.
Liquid means rewind, a gunshot means forward. You requested it, so we rewind.
Check it out. Where my lays is at. Where the lays is at. Lays is at. Where the lays is at. Where the lays is at. You still doing oregano oil? I did eat a lot of candy over the weekend, though. I don't know what's wrong with me. I stopped at a Cracker Barrel and I had breakfast. And so as I'm walking out of the Cracker Barrel, I notice they have Bitter Honey, Mary Jane, Chico Stick, all of the candies all of the old school candies. And I just was I should be eating that garbage, but I was just too, some of that might be pork. No, I don't think the Mary Jane's fun. I was just way too, what do you call that? I was just way too tempted, so I bought it. So I've been eating candy all weekend, which I got to stop. I just threw it out. I just grabbed it all together and threw it out. Good morning, everybody. Unction, let's get them.
Body woman pan the dance floor. Call man, go them can't take it no more. Call man, go them can't take it no more. Call man, go them can't take it no more.
Let's get them going this morning, everybody. Puyaka. 5:37 in the morning. Let's get them going this morning. Unction, let's go, y'all. So we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about a topic of discussion today. It's gonna be a little bit controversial, but let me wrap up a little thing about a conversation I was having about. Because I was also listening to a lot of Kevin Samuels over the weekend. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, and I actually have a different perspective on him. The more I listen to some of the older versions of what he was doing too, but I don't really want to talk too much about him. But I do want to talk. I want to say something. Sorry, guys, that's my earpiece. I want to say something about as much as we've been bashing the women a lot of women. We've been bashing a lot of women. I want to just say that I think men, we have to now reclaim our responsibility as men and do what we have to do, because ultimately it's a vacuum created by the lack of leadership in the African American community by men. And I think this is my monologue about that, the whole thing. Yes, obviously I do see some of the women are hurt, but it's not just like when, God said Adam's rib, he made the woman, right? You guys are kind of reactions to us in a lot of senses. And so the problem we have in the community with our women seem to be just a byproduct of the lack of leadership and the lack of marriages in our community. As you did point out, and as we did the research, we found that there was before the 1950s, there was 80% African American marriages, no matter what. So that meant that no matter what our situation was, segregation, Jim Crow, slavery, whatever it was, the African American family, for the most part, was intact. And ultimately, that has been lost. And whatever the conditions are, you understand that you were paying families for men not to go home. If you understand Lyndon Johnson's New Deal, the way he wanted to restructure America, where he was able to separate the family by taking a man out of the home, we understand that. But the bottom line is, we know everything now. We know we had. The information is there for us. So as opposed to continue to harp on it, is to make some adjustments. And let's go. Men, stand up. Let's go. It's time for men to reclaim their space in this country, and African American men in the African American family, and then that would stabilize those issues we're having with our sons and daughters out there in the street killing each other. It will give the support of the ever progressive African American woman out there doing her thing. Let's get involved, fellas. Let's build it. Let's stop pointing fingers and let's get together and take responsibility as men and make our families work. There you go. I love it. And that's what I have to say about that. Good morning, everybody. I'm in the building. It is 5:41 in the morning. The morning yawning. We are back. Let's go. Monday morning work. Let's get them. I love that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't want to rant about it. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that it's I think that it's important that we have that conversation and that we speak from a position of knowledge. Hold up. Good morning. Good morning. Leroy Struthers, good morning, brother. Let me know if you're good to go. I say, hold up. We are live on YouTube as well, in case anybody knows. One more time, baby. Now we're coming in all the different aspects of it, so just know that we are live. Let's go get them, y'all. Come on. Let's run the banners. Special dedication going out to all of y'all, and I swear I hope you're having a ball, baby. I'm getting ready. Hey. Yes, I am. Good God, Almighty, goddamn. And we run banners on the YouTube show, so. Here we go. Special dedication going out to Trent, Mike, all that business crew. Wait a minute. Oh, nice. I get all that. One more time, baby. Let me know if you're good to go. I said, hold up. Yeah. There we go. Special dedication going out to you. I got the banners running on YouTube. Don't worry about it. You can stay right here, though. Yes, I am. You can share it. Well, yeah, we haven't even. Well, we'll get to the topic in a second. We've been talking about that, Leroy, the past couple of weeks after the passing of Kevin Samuels, and talking about the problems in our community. And we've been beating up on the women a little bit, and I just felt that we had to just point out that the men have not stepped up, and actually the weakness, the soft spot in our community has been our men. And it's just by choice that the women had to stand up. So everything we're dealing with is a byproduct of that, a byproduct of women standing up. As women stand up and become more responsible in the community, they get more testosterone. And then, therefore, boom. Listen, when I've been in marriages, 2 marriages, a lot of relationships, and I'm gonna tell you, anytime I have problems in any of my situations, it was always about something that happened in my life, whether it be business or anything like that, and then it would change the dynamic and it would upset the dynamic of the home. Now, how the woman can accept that is one that's something that's an argument that we can have. We can have how she deals with the ups and downs of your life, but ultimately it is my responsibility to king my castle. Now, I've always kinged my castle. Now I want to get it square. I want to be square when I say that. I've always kinged my castle. I've always kinged my castle. Like, there's never been at any point that I never kinged my castle. But the point is, in those shifts, whenever I had toxins or things that I was dealing with, that affected my whole home. That affected my entire space. Pay attention, guys. So, whether I'm a millionaire or, a thousandaire, at the end of the day, the ups and downs of life has an effect on the home. And if the man goes through ups and downs, the home is going to go up and down. And that's why when you pick the person in your life, you got to pick them and build with them. And I think that's what the guy was saying. He was saying that when you pick that person that you're going to build with, you got to build with them so that she gets all of that. Sometimes, especially nowadays, where men, they get success and they go get women who are not part of that success struggle. But then once, let's say if things change, like especially pro athletes are a perfect example. The divorces in pro athletes always usually happen a lot of times after the career. I mean, once they get married to a woman, that after they've been successful, they'll find a woman, they'll get married to the woman. But then after their pro careers, a lot of their level of success deteriorates, and so does their financial station. Therefore, they then, that changes the dynamic of the relationship, because what she married into was the big house, the big cars, and everything, All right, listen, talk to a guy who knows it. I know what I'm talking about. So you got to build with that person who is and I'm giving advice to the young brothers, what I'm saying, at this point, what I'm saying. I don't think I'll ever go down that road again, but you got to build with the person in the beginning so that you and that person build together. Let her be a part of your wealth building. Let her be a part of your life. That way she's empowered by you. Like, let all of that testosterone and estrogen combination empower you. Let, as opposed to working it outside of you. That would, if I would give advice to my son, that's what I give. And if she's not with you from the beginning, find another woman. Build with somebody else. Uncle A's in the building, 5:47 in the morning. This is the morning yawning. Come on, man. We're getting it going today. Oh, man. This is a lot of different areas where you share it. Do me a favor. Share the show. Share it out there. Give it to people. Let them have it. We're going to have a lot to talk about this morning, and our discussion is going to be great. And even though what I'm talking about now is not going to be the topic, it's this. I got an even better topic than what I'm talking about now, but this is the preamble, so I wanted to just have that discussion. What I'm going to talk about today is not going to be this particular topic, what I'm talking about now. I just wanted to just rehash and come back to it and speak to it. Let's get it going this morning. My mom and dad were together until they passed. I didn't learn about how to build until my late 30s. Yeah. Well, that's it, Leroy. I mean, and ultimately, it was a time when we were together. So as a community, and you can directly tie the problems we're having in our society right now in the Black community to the breakdown of the family. And as much as, let me just break this down, as much as we try to fix it, and we can do what we can in schools. Shout out to my All School Grounds crew. They create these islands because they're fixing things that should be fixed in the home. They're fixing behaviors and stuff that should be fixed in a home. And as much as we can try to fix these things, we do not repair the family. That's why I give it to Dennis. He says the school has to be part of the community, not just a school, not outside or separate of the community. It has to be integral in the home as well. Now, that's a very strong conversation if you think about what he's really saying. Big responsibility, but let's pay attention to that. That's heavy, huh? Good morning, Uncle Lay's in the building. Let's go. We got 5:50 in the morning. Let's get the day going. Wow. Good morning, everybody. Unc's here.
Yes, sir.
Share it. Come on, baby. Share it. Get it out to the people. Let's go, y'all. Come on. The point is, we'll have dueling subjects today because just like you watch Family Guy, there's always two stories on Family Guy. I love it.
Worldwide, just clap from the bay to the trap. DJ, bring it back.
5:51 morning on the Ump's in the building. Let's get him, y'all. Come on, let's get him. Yeah.
Come on. Everybody, come on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Back to back like Irvin and James going over you lane. They want to put that faith in us.
Man, I get busy. I'm the voice of the city. Wheel tracks. I'm known to turn the parties up.
Man, who you know better than me? Reppin' that NYC. DJ SNS who you trust.
Yes, sir. We them boys.
SNS.
Just kill that.
That's my boy. Me and SNS go way back. Hey.
Everybody hands up and say, all right, rock out. Let's come on. Let's rock out.
Good morning. Shout out to my sister.
Okay.
Real track. Come on.
Rock out. East side, west side, north side, south side. Come on. Work out. Oh man, we got another one. SNS on tracks.
Wow. You know, it's interesting. I got to tell you. Something.
Yes, indeed, ladies.
I got to tell you something. That's a very interesting story.
Big L, rest in peace.
That we're talking about here. Really interesting story.
Oh man, I'm feeling good, man.
Monday morning, 5:52 in the morning. We're gonna play another song for y'all.
Oh man,
We're on YouTube.
That's what it is.
In case y'all didn't know that.
The voice of the city. Come on. Come on. Throw that little beat for this one. Oh, we're gonna run away with this one. Over here. Got another one. Come on. Okay, this side. Everybody over there. Come on. Tracks. Yes. I'm gonna run away with this one. Tear the spot up like I'm on one. You know how I do when get the show done. Up to the stage, yeah, they all run. Wasn't there for the crime, but they want some. And I don't know you, where you came from. They asked me where I get my name from.
Good morning, y'all. 5:53 in the morning. Until let's go.
Let me get some. Checks go. You see my footwork, plus I got more. Got a fan base, got big, I need a world tour. It sure feels good, got the whole doors. Front row for the show, I need encores. They ain't gonna sit, they wanna stand up. Oh, by the way, throw your hands up.
Dr. D Nice, good morning.
Y'all ready to party? Come on, hey, work it, let's go. Come on, hey. Yeah, hey, you and we stand there. Come on, let's go. Work it out. Work it out. Come on, work it out. Come on, hey.
Dr. D Nice, you're going to like what I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be very interesting. A little bit up your alley, too.
I got heavy hits, call me bedrock. Even in the woods, make the tent rock. Build tracks, make the world dance. I'm a business.
And if it plays out the way I think it's going to play out, it's going to be really interesting.
You don't need a gym here to work out. Make you feel good like with church out. Hey man, you know God is good all the time, right? And all the time God is good, right? So I'm doing all that I could. So I make music, make you feel good. I tell them just dance, put the guns right. And let's go, we have a party today. Oh. Hands up, put them up, come on, put them up. This side, put them up, put them up, put them up. Hands high, put them up, hands high, get them up, put them up.
Good morning, everybody. Out in the building. It's 5. Yes, Dr. D Nice. I hope you had a great weekend as well. I'm gonna put the Zoom in, Doc, because this might be a Zoom-worthy conversation, if you know what I mean. It's gonna be controversial. Last week was great, by the way, in case you guys weren't around for this one.
Can I get a soul clap? Can I get a soul clap? Can I get a soul clap?
5:55 in the morning. What a great weekend. Let's go, y'all. Let's get them. Come on.
Do it where you stand at. Work it out. Do it where you stand at. Work it out. Do it where you stand at.
Because this topic is even going to have medical implications. That's why I think it's going to be a great conversation.
Work it out. Work it out. Work it out. Come on. Work it out. Work it out. Come on. Work it out. Get something with your feet. Hey, something with your feet. Do something with your feet. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Let's go.
Hey guys, when you come in, could you share this on your timeline? The morning email. Share it on your timeline.
Everybody, put your hands up.
Share it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you share it.
I need everybody to the dance floor.
5:56 in the morning. Unks in the building. 75 degrees today in New York City. What a great weekend. Nice and hot this weekend. Let y'all know. Stop playing. You better enjoy this warm weather while you could. I love the heat. Let's get them, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Yes, you too. I hope you had a great weekend. Dr. D Nice.
So meet me on the floor where the ladies be. Long as the beat keep going, the tracks keep flowing, the drinks keep flowing. Let me see some footwork. Super rocking all night till your feet hurts. I be the life of the party, from the club to the hotel lobby. Let's work.
Let's work.
Let's work.
Let's work.
Let's work.
Let's work.
Let's work. I break a heel, sweat it, sweat it. I break a heel, sweat it,
Sweat it out.
I break a heel, sweat it,
Sweat it out.
I break a heel, sweat it, sweat it. Oh. Let me see some footwork. Let me see some footwork.
I broke one of my lights.
Let me see some footwork. Hey, I be the voice of the city.
The sun's coming up, y'all. Let's go.
They say, did he run the city? Come on.
The sun's coming up, y'all. Let's get him.
Like Dougie. East Coast, West Coast, girl. There's even footwork up in the UK. Break the heel, sweat it out. That's my new way. And this
Good
one
morning,
is for
morning,
the
morning.
dance. Who's the best host out? I need hands. Break a heel,
Sweat it out.
Sweat it.
I break a heel, break a heel.
Sweat it, sweat it.
I break a heel, break a heel.
Sweat it, sweat it. I
Break a heel, break a heel.
Sweat it, sweat it. Oh. Let me see some footwork. Let me see some footwork.
We go dark in a minute. Let's go, y'all.
Let me see some footwork. Let me see some footwork. Let me see some footwork. Let me see some footwork.
There she go. There go the queen. Let's get him. You're the one I want. You're the one I need. Ooh, Courtney. Come on, baby. It's hey. Man. Everything stop. Follow me. I put my love on top. Hey, baby. I always put my love on top. How it's received is up to you. But that love stay on top. Baby. Sometimes it gets taken advantage of, but that's okay. My love is unconditional. It's unconditional. Good morning, yawning, everybody. Here's what I really love. Here she comes. Shout out to my whole OSG family today. Let's go. Let's get them, y'all. Come on.
Everybody asks me why I'm smiling from ear to ear.
And I know. Good morning, everybody. I'm in the building. Let's get them. Shout them out. Let's go, y'all. Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Charlotte, congratulations on your new show. I know how you get, so don't be too rough on them. Love you and good luck. Bye.
Love you too, monkey.
Welcome to the Raw Perspective with your host, the incomparable
Seamless.
Uncle Lays, a.k.a. Lays Elliott, a.k.a. Lazy Lays from the world famous, kicking it with you in topics about health, politics, music, art, culture, and now for your host, the legendary Uncle Lays.
Hey, yo. What's up, y'all? It's your boy.
Hey, yo, Lays is rock.
Oh,
yo, get in there and tell the people what it is, man. Let them know what this thing is.
Hold on, Leroy. Stay where you are.
That's what we do. We let you know what this
I think
thing
it's all about. We get information. That's what we do. This is the morning on Uncle Lays. Hey, Leroy, go put a shirt on, brother. What are you doing here, man? This is a family show. What are you doing? Leroy, go put a shirt on, my brother. I love you, man. And people going to talk to you, man. I want to see you right, brother. I want to see you right. Oh, man. Shout out to my OSG family. Shout out to my MOP First family. Good morning. Let's give our shout outs this morning. We got a lot to talk about. This is the morning yawning. Your boy Uncle Lays in the building. Beanie Long, good morning. Frida Asante, good morning. D Parks, good morning. Jamal Turner, good morning. Tanya Ray Vocal. Scooch Elliott, good morning. Don Catalog. Dion Dime, good morning. Deanne Dime. Dunny Brown. Keoki Woodson Johnson. El Hodge. Tamik Skinner. Rolly Connect. Advil Mercani. DJ Silk. Susan Ball Jorgensen, all the way from Denmark. Copenhagen. Jason Resolute, Mario Daco. Happy birthday, my brother Daco da Costa. Natalie Pant, that's my brother from Angola, Africa, by way of Cologne, Germany. Jazzy Moto, Gary Delamal, Byron Kirkland, Kareen Coco Linton. What's up, sis? Jamal Thomas, Easy Breezy, Anna Lacosta, El Hodge, George Green, Oliver Crowd, Andrea Abanza, Maria Mendez, Jolie Messer, Daryl Sloan, and Dr. D Nice, Boja Lynn. What's up? Oh, man, good morning. Good morning, yawning. I had a great weekend this morning. Let me just say this to you. I'm going to bring my brother, I have a whole new topic, but I want to spend a couple of seconds with my brother who came in. He came in all shirtless. I love you, man. Leroy, you always exciting, man. Hey, Leroy. And I know you came in because you kind of felt a way about what I was talking about in the preamble this morning. So before we get into all our topics and things we want to talk about today, I want to give you opportunity. How you doing, Leroy? Good to see you, brother. My brother, good to see you. I'm gonna need you to get that microphone right too, brother. Get your microphone. You know you're a technical guy. You know that, Leroy. And every time you try, listen, Leroy, you try. You know what? That's okay. Go back into the pool, Leroy. Enjoy yourself. I'll see you later, man. Don't worry about it, man. I love you, man. You will get it right. You will get it right at one point. Leroy said, that's my brother, Leroy. Oh, man. Leroy is hilarious. I love Leroy, man. And Leroy always tries to get it right. But what he wants to talk about was what I spoke about in the preamble. And I was talking about how we as men are really the... Yeah, I know. Leroy, you try. You're a tech guy, too. Like, you're a guy, you're a camera and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're a veteran, all the things that should give you the ability to get that easy, you know what I'm saying? But, it's okay. It's okay. There is humor in that, too. So there's entertainment in your process. That's okay. It's your boy, Uncle Lace from Raw Perspective. Shout out to my OSG. Shout out to my MP for family. Oh, man, that is fun. Yeah, but Leroy wanted to talk about what I was speaking to in the preamble about how it's really the one thing as people, rest in peace, like Kevin Samuels, like all these different people that speak to the detriment of women that are having issues about how they should be more subservient to men. One thing that they have missed in their conversation is how men should reclaim, Black men in this country, African-American men need to reclaim their space as leaders and take the responsibility as leaders. And that will April Leon, good morning, sis. And that repairs the relationship in our community. And that's that's not the topic of discussion today. But it was my preamble discussion, and Leroy wanted to speak to it because and knowing Leroy, he agreed that, it's us as African-American men that have to take the leadership role. And if you look at the stats in the 80s, in the 40s, 50s, and even up to the 60s, marriage in the African-American community was up over 80%. People got married, you know what I'm saying? It was a thing, and as they got married, the marriages lasted forever. For instance, everybody can tell stories about how their parents, up until about the late 70s, when people in the 80s, divorce wasn't a big thing in the African-American communities. The 80s and 90s, it changed, but up until like the 70s, maybe even to the 80s, but pre-crack, obviously, there was a thing where your parents, they stayed married, and then you didn't find out about your pop's other family, because we have a lot of that now. Papa was a Rolling Stone in a lot of different cases, but you didn't find out about Pop's your sister until after your dad passed away. Then you realized that you got a sister across town or across the country. Good morning. Good morning. But yeah. But I got you, Leroy. Leroy, I got what you were gonna say, and so that was that was. So but don't worry about Leroy. You're always welcome. You're always welcome on the emails. So don't worry about it. If we don't get you today, we'll get you another day. Make sure that you continue to follow and share. Make sure everybody share. That's how it gets out there. This is a natural thing. I'm actually on YouTube this morning as well. And just share them. Share them in your group. Share them in your friend. Just share them. And then we'll get it going. And that's one thing. April Leon, good morning, sis. Oh, we're going to trigger some people this morning with this topic of conversation. So let's start by saying in Sweden, there is a law that was passed down to stop hormone treatments for transgender children. That's right. I said it. Hormone treatment to stop transgender children. Now, I got a whole bunch of stats and everything. I followed this conversation, this story. I've been following for a minute. I've been waiting to talk about it because I knew that it would trigger some of my liberal friends, my more liberal friends. It would trigger y'all because it definitely has some implications about the transgender children that are in the society and where our society is going. Also, let me give you a couple of other things. I'm not going to talk about the paradox, the Hermes paradox. I'll get that tomorrow. But I've been working on that as well. But I want to talk about where society is going and where we think it's going, right? So if, for instance, we talk about gas prices, right? The gas prices are high, gas is high. But, it doesn't seem like there's less gas, right? It's just the prices are high. Ultimately, it may be people are just pushing you guys into the next phase of society, which is electric vehicles. And the way you do it is to make gas so high, people have to pay for it. People don't want to pay for it, right? So now everybody's starting to order these electric vehicles. I actually am in line for an electric vehicle now for my BMW. I'm going to trade out when I can. and get myself a new electric BMW when the time comes, because I love the car. But they're even making electric trucks now, so ultimately, that's a way you can get a lot of people off of gas. Which is now they're saying this summer in some places gas is going to be $7-8 a gallon. $8 a gallon for gas. So that means to get 4 gallons of gas is $36. Think about that. 4 gallons of gas on a 22-gallon tank. That's not even a quarter tank. So you're spending $40 just to get a quarter tank of gas. That's crazy. Think about that, in context of where we were and where we are. I don't think it's a president you can blame for this. I don't think it's an economy a government, nothing. This is just what it is. But ultimately, in more of a sinister space, I do believe that people are trying to move the population away from fossil fuels as far as it comes to gas consumption. I think it's better. Ultimately, for society, it's going to be better. So let's pay attention to that. Good morning. It's Monday morning on the Unks in the building. Oh, man. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about this morning. Okay, so now let's get back to my story. So in Sweden, and there are many documentaries on this, a conversation that they were using what they called puberty blockers on transgender children. And what they found, not only did it affect puberty and the actual growth all the way down to the bone structure of the human. In other words, when certain things happen during puberty that gets triggered during puberty, growth, bone hormones, blah, blah, blah. Let me see. I'll try to bring Dr. D Nice. Can you come in on the Zoom this morning? Because I want to talk about this. And before I get into your opinion on it, I want to talk about the medical aspects of it. I don't know what happened to Power. You know what I'm saying? But Power. Power. If you're not coming on, you gotta let me know you're not coming on, Power. You just don't. Power's fun. I don't mind. I can handle my show, but I just, you could just say, "Hey, brother, I ain't gonna be there today." Just she's hilarious. Power's funny, man. Don't you think so? Don't you think you would just call somebody? You can't call no text. Hey, brother, I'm not gonna make it. Oh man, you gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? April, am I crazy? I got nothing to say about that. But anyway, I see April here this morning. I'm gonna speak to April real quick and see if she got time for me to talk this morning before I bring Dr. D Nice in on a medical subject. But I'm in power smoke this morning, right? But April, good morning, sis. Good morning, April.
Good morning.
Listen, I'm not trying to be an ass, but if you're not going to show up, just let me know, because people get used to seeing you. You got to say something. I'm with you. I'm with whatever way you want to swing it, but you got to hey, brother. It's just crazy. But April, did you know about this story that I'm starting to talk about this morning?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, two things I want to give a quick opinion on this. Number one, over the weekend, I've been doing a lot of research and just discussing. First of all, let me stop for a second. Hi, April Leon. How was your weekend?
Hi, Lace Elliott. It was okay. Trying to dodge COVID like raindrops again.
Dodging COVID. I know it's tough. That COVID is out there for real. It's still out there. And now we got the monkeypox. Monkey.
Yeah, I didn't go back to my own house all weekend because my house is infested with COVID right now. So I'm I'm not going there.
Are you homeless like me? You should have called me. I'm homeless too. We could have been homeless together.
I was like, I'm not going there. I've been Uber eating soup, sending them soup every day.
Listen, I'm a world traveler. I know how it feels to be on tour. Just going to hotels every day, setting up. I know how it feels. Sleeping in foreign beds. I get it. But it ain't nothing like home though. It ain't nothing like home though. Yeah. But let's hope that everybody's okay in your house.
Yeah.
And hope everybody gets back in, COVID is not the life-threatening thing it was. They've even got pills now to deal with it now once you get it. So there's ways you can fight COVID now. Yeah. Anyway, so the first thing I talked about this morning, April, and I just want your opinion on it because you always have a certain perspective on things that I talk about. One was, as I went through my deep dive into the relationship between men and women and African-American women in this country, I went to a deep dive. If you know, and I would take full blame of it, we were giving the women a lot of hassle for the last couple of weeks, because we were like sort of listening to Kevin Samuels, all this other stuff that we were going. And we even had our doctors and our principals up there really defending their position, really just standing on top of who they were and what they had to deal with to make things work. And over the weekend, I was in discussion, and through the discussion, one of the things that came to play was that, the men, we never really talked about the responsibility of our African-American men and as it pertains to the relationship and also what's happening in our community. I even saw the other day on our meetup, there were so many conversations about what was happening in our community. And it was like, I didn't hear anything about the responsibility of the African-American man to come together and fix this problem, because I think ultimately we have to be the fixer there. When the boy's 16 and he's giving the mother too much trouble, the first thing mama say, I'm gonna send you to your father and let your father deal with you. Because ultimately that's what that boy needs at 15, 16, 17 years old. Ultimately now what we found, there's no father to send a boy to. So now we have no overarching man to make sure that the boys are all right. Even now, as my life's changing, when I call home, I even hear my son's voice as he speaks to me, and it's like she's Dr. D Nice is in, and now Power comes in. Anyway, and I hear the voice of my son on the phone or whatever. He says, "Hey, Dad," and he's looking for me to give him critical attention, whatever different direction it is. So ultimately, I think that is a big issue that we have not spoken to. How do you feel about that, April?
Well, I think we have spoken to it. At least I have, and I keep saying it's a us thing, and we have to lift each other up and support one another in order for us to be good for the kids. And there's a whole lot of history behind it, but we do have to be better for each other, for our kids. Thursday, I wasn't on the meetup because I was actually speaking on a panel with Dr. Gasaway and a few others.
Yeah.
On this very topic, coupled with, the uprise and violence and what are we supposed to do? And the conversation, how are we gathering together as a community? How are we uplifting one another as men and women? And how are we taking responsibility, not just for the children that we are raising, but for the children around the children that we are raising?
That's a long conversation. One, I was just giving you, I just want to give you some simple stats. All right. Simple stats are, think about it, post-slavery to, especially post-slavery to like the 1950s, 60s, maybe even into the 70s, African-American marriage was on a very high rate, almost 80% in the community. It was a thing to get married. There was unification. Maybe it started to slow down in the 70s when Lyndon Johnson came in with that New America situation where he tried to basically separate the families by saying we will pay the mother to keep the father out the home. I think that was pretty nefarious, right? But ultimately, yeah, but that's okay, because then they came back and said, I can't believe that people took the money, because ultimately we took the money over family. We took the money over family. That was kind of interesting too, but that's a deeper dive when we get there. But then subsequently after that, you had all the other things happening. The father was gone. And now, because of the lack of father in the home, and I even admitted this to this morning when I talked about how in 2 marriages, a guy who was, you know, has had businesses that have been up and down, rich, and I almost to the point of exercise rich. I can be rich today and I could not be rich tomorrow, and I could be rich today and not. It's almost like a rubber band. I can swing it back and forth. I never considered how that affected the reality of the women in my life, because ultimately they would be affected by my situation. Like I was never, you know, not to say any of my wives ever had any day that they had to go and worry about the things that we worried about, like poor people worried about. You know what I'm saying? Once I got past that in the streets, they never had to worry about that, but they did feel the pressure and the differences, and you know, from that big life to we got to downsize a little bit. And if you don't marry somebody who has been with you that can go through that knows how to do that, is going to be tension in the relationship. You, like, in other words, I talked to a brother who was married, his wife, but he married her when they were both broke, and they built their wealth together, and they're doing well today. But ultimately, it was because of that gives them that bond. But if you become rich and then you go and find somebody, you marry somebody when you're rich, she only gonna know the rich ladies. She's not gonna know the ladies that may not be rich, or maybe in going through the motions of losing a company and then building another company to the top. She's not going to understand that those peaks and valleys that most men go through in business, through a lifetime of business.
Right.
And I think that happened to the community. The African American community never came back.
Well, it's not that happens to the African American community. It's all of the other things we've spoken about in the last couple of weeks. And we talked about this months ago. You know, obviously I'm a woman, and obviously I'm strong and I'm uplifted, and I want to be looked at as someone who is independent and
Power's here. Good morning, Power.
can survive.
Power, I was giving you
Good
crap.
morning.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, April. I'm sorry. Go ahead, April.
However, you know, in the same breath, I talked about the issue I've had with the Me Too movement for us in our culture. Is that it almost has equated to canceling our men and pushing our men further down. And again, you know, just speaks to a plethora of reasons that are not brand new, that are historical if we pay attention to. But you know, I think that we just have to spend more time talking about the solution. We already know what the problem is. We can keep pulling up the data and talking about it until we're blue in the face, which we are, right? And generations still suffer.
Well, this is a different approach, though, April. This is a different approach, and
we have to move into solutions, and we have to just talk about where are we now and how are we going to repair the harm that's been done to the best of our ability. However, change the trajectory for our young people by giving them a different image of love and relationship and equality.
Dr. Beanie Long braids. She's laughing. Partnerships are key. Marriage is just paperwork. Allison Ferguson, good morning. Josh says, I'm blue in the face. He's laughing. All right, but listen, let me just say this to you, April. Here's what you see. You're speaking about all of this in a vacuum, and I'm gonna say this to you respectfully, because I understand where you're coming from, and you actually make my point. The point that I'm making is the weakness of the African American man in his own culture, in his own society, has generated all these conversations about data and all this other stuff. All that, with all due respect, shit doesn't mean anything if the man ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. And ultimately, that is the valley. You are a byproduct of.
Oh boy! And shit doesn't mean anything if we don't allow, like, if we're not at the conversation at the table together. It's not meant. A man can't be a better man if a man cannot be a better man if we are not understanding what a better man should look like.
Yeah. We know what a better man's supposed to be.
So,
we're supposed to be the leaders in our community, and we are supposed to assume our roles. It's a very simple reality. It gets complicated and drifty if you don't pay attention to what your role is as a man in the home. Ultimately, then you have to now assume that role and try to play both roles. I get what you're saying, and I know that you believe, and with all due respect to you, my sister, you believe that's because that's been your reality. And I want to say, as a man, I see it from a male's eyes. I see it is because of the abdicated responsibility of men in our home for the last 30, 40 years. And the byproduct of it is this today. That's what I see. All the data and everything can tell you one thing, but the one thing we're not paying attention to is the abdication of responsibility of the man in the home. I think that's what we're missing. Good morning. I'm gonna get at you in a second, pal. But yes, good morning. Come on in here.
I think we have talked about the root cause of the problem. I think we've been there. I think it's time that we start talking about the solutions to the root causes of the problem.
Well, yeah, I agree. I see there. I totally agree with you, April. And I think, yeah. Well, that's why I attacked it in the face this morning. I went right at it in the face this morning and talked about it, and I took the cover off. I didn't dance around it. I've been seeing a lot of dancing around it. I was on the show. I was on Thursday at the meetup. I saw a lot of dancing, a lot of data talk, a lot of all this talk, and I'm like, man, come on, man. At the end of the day, the man got to assume his role as a man in society. Well, that's a deep dive. We can't get into it today. I got another conversation to talk about. Yeah. Well, in short, you can't teach a man how to be a man. I have to teach, but I have to teach a man how to be a man. That's what has to happen. Yeah. That's what has to happen. You know. But anyway, I love you, April. I love you. Thank you, sis. We got to get back into this conversation. All right, love you, sis. This is not the end of this conversation, though. I just want to say that. All right, Power. Before I get into my new conversation, we're gonna have to have a. Wait a minute. We're gonna have to do this. Now, listen. Ain't no way I'm gonna let you get away with this one without messing with you. No. Oh, man, we're going to have to talk about this morning. We're going to have to talk to reclaiming my time. Dr. D Nice, you stay right there. It's good that I got Dr. D Nice here today, because what we're going to talk about this morning, and it's crazy because I didn't want to get into that thing with April this morning. I did because I knew it was a hot subject. And as a man, because y'all don't look at things like men, right, that was heavy, right? Leroy tells you that was heavy, but y'all don't look at things like men, so it's hard for you to understand my point. And that's really men that have to understand this point. It's not so much like when my nephews would act up, they would get my father, right? My cousins would act up. They would get my father and he would go into the room. He would move the furniture out the way and where they close the door. He get in there and wear their ass out. And yeah, Uncle Grady was coming in there, and Uncle Grady is gonna tear their asses up, and then baby brother me, I will be outside in the other room looking at it, understanding that's my father. I don't want that to be me getting my ass whooped for that whatever happened, you know. And without that, you got this. You got the guys walking up on you in the middle of the street and shooting at you. Because it's easy to press a button, you know, and there are other factors of you know, data is data, but you know, y'all think, you know, women, of course, the intelligence of women. Good morning, Dr. D Nice. Y'all think data. That's great. No, I'm saying women think data. Women are like data. This is because you're educators. Her name is D Nice. Her name is, but that's not my subject today. We got a half an hour to talk about what I want to talk about today. Woo! Y'all can call a doctor. Y'all better. Good morning, Dr. D Nice. How are you? And listen, I wanted to get back to the inside today because last week we had a lot of guests and we were very distracted, and I needed to come back to us, you know, the crew. Beanie Long, Ja the chef. I need everybody to get back. No, I'm not talking. No. I didn't talk data. I talked the facts of the. See, this is what you miss it. You miss it, April. This is April. No. I know you got to defend April, but let me just say this to you. April can take it. She can take it. April tough. I think you have a split personality. That may be true. I do have a split personality, but that's not the point. No, but I'm saying I will not be medicated. Well, let me just say this. What I'm talking about is I'm just talking the place of the African American man in the family over the last years before the 1970s, where it shifted, and then everything subsequent to that made the change even more and the radical change. And that's just 80% of the Africa, because that's just the way it was. When 1950s you got married and you had kids. In 1960s, you got married. 1940s, you got married. That's just the way it was. When I speak in generality can be used as a fact. Remember that we hear this all the time, right? Generality. I speak in generality. That's what it was. That's not data. That's just generally you got married. That's the point I'm making. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. So in Sweden, you see this? Yeah. Then listen, don't even start. You just sit right there and be pretty with your nice hair and your glasses and all that stuff this morning, because you know you came in late as a mom. You came out some bullshit. We're gonna have to talk about you and your vitamin situation. Sometimes you get too much vitamins. Sometimes you be getting too much vitamins. Easy on the vitamins, okay? It's Monday morning vitamins. Yeah. Yo, stop. Hey, when you talk about you study the data. Yeah, I did. I'm saying, yes, I did study the 80%, but I'm not using it as a point of conversation. Because not only did I study that, I also lived the reality of it. Everybody got married. It changed. I lived it. So see, April's going to distract me. I lived that life. So I know what it was. All your uncles and aunts were married. Your grandma was married. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from April right now. She's not going to distract me from my stories. I'm not even listening to April right now. She's not going to distract me. She's not going to distract me. She's trying to distract me, but it won't happen, because that is the distraction moment that she uses to try to get you off your point. The point I'm making is that's just the way it was. Now, you can call it what you want to call it. Okay, let's call it data or whatever the conversation or the integral parts of it. I'm saying the broad sport was people was married, and now they not. And that has an effect to do on what's happening. There you go. That's it. That's the broad sport. Listen, I've been living in the streets for the past 2 weeks. Leave me alone, okay? I've been living in the streets. I've been in the streets for the last 2 weeks. I'm on tour. I'm on tour to nowhere for the last 2 weeks. Yes, it's a hotel. First of all, I don't be staying in no efficiencies anyway. If I'm gonna stay in a hotel, it's gonna be a nice hotel. I just been living in the hotels. No, I'm not no efficiency. What are you talking about? They'll kick me right out. They hear me screaming in the morning. 4 o'clock. Like this nigga is up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He is crazy. Now you'll be asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's just tell the truth. Let's just tell the truth. Anyway, so back to my story. We'll argue that other conversation later because that is a deeper conversation. So let's get to something a little bit more right at us. Right in Sweden, they just banned hormone blockers for transgender children. Yeah. So the conversation today is on. Oh yeah. You're gonna want to go back to that other conversation. Woo. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll take trans children for. See, this is that bullshit. Yes, I do need medication. I'll take trans children for 100. Yeah, you see, I was already at the coffee. So in Sweden, so they stopped it because they did research. And first of all, they were given, and this is something that's happening in America. They are now giving hormone blockers, puberty blockers to young children who identify as transgender. Now, under 10 years old. I don't need on the exact age where they can say they can start to do this, but children as young as under 10 years old are getting puberty blockers to stop them. Like say if it's a boy who what they give to the girl, they give the girl testosterone in order to, along with the blockers, they give her testosterone in order to help her turn into a boy, whatever. And then for the boys, they give estrogen to help him who he may identify as a woman. Now, in this situation, though, they found that through research in Sweden, they found that there is affecting bone production, density production. Also, certain things are being affected because of this. So they banned it because ultimately it's hurting their growth, which I believe so, obviously, and also because certain things are triggered through puberty. So I'm going to go first to Dr. D Nice so she can talk about the importance of puberty and what happens, things trigger as you start to, and I'm giving her a chance. I'm talking so I can give her a chance to think about it because I didn't pre-produce this question. But things fire in puberty that we need to become adults, not just sexually, but also within the body. Go ahead, Dr. Next, take it away. Sorry. So good. Here's what I'm gonna give you some data. Okay, back to April's point about the data. Right, I'm gonna give you some data. This is not a feeling. This is data. Okay, I'm going to stand on this one. Okay, they said that data shows that progressively, people born in the 40s, the little, people that came out as gay or trans was a very small amount. People born in the 50s and 60s, it got a little larger. People born in the 70s and 80s, it came up a little more, and then people born in the 90s were about 20% of that population will come out as binary, gay, or trans. That's showing, is that a thing where people are just feeling more comfortable to come out, or is it just because it's socially acceptable? We are now just saying, okay, yeah, you can just do that, and now this is a part of what's going on. And and does it speak to a large trend society on the road? Right. Can we say an 8-year-old child is transgender? Or transsexual? And I have my opinion on this, but I'm just asking the question, one to a doctor and one to a well-educated educator. Um, Pardon the double. Dr. D Nights, in your, and I'm quite sure you've analyzed children as well. How do you feel about the question that can a can a 8-year-old identify sexually as another sex other than what they were born as? You there, Dr. D Nice? Well, I knew this was going to be a very compelling subject this morning. Your phone is breaking up. Let's play Dr. D Nice music until your phone goes back. Dr. D Nice, your phone is breaking up. I hear you now. Let's go, Dr. D Nice. Yeah, I got you. You're better. Yeah. It's an interesting conversation because, in one sense, first of all, let's go to the moral side of the conversation. As a man, I don't feel like my 8-year-old child should be. I know kids think about playing around, whatever the case may be, but sex shouldn't be on the mind of a 7, 8-year-old. I don't think that. But what's happening in America is they're also they're adding technology and medication to it. They're giving them gender blockers now. They're giving them puberty blockers and gender reassignments at 7 and 8 years old because they're identifying at 7 and 8 years old that they actually are of an opposite sex. I think that is cruel. And let me give the perspective. I think it's cruel and unusual for us to be allowing, and even parents to be allowing their children to be getting gender reassignment at 7 and 8 years old, because you know what? When you're 7 and 8 years old, you're just 7 and 8 years old. When you're 21 years old or you're 18 years old, then you know what you want to be a little bit more than, and even then it's like, okay, it's more socially acceptable, but you know what you want to be at 21 years old. But at 7 and 8 years old, what are you doing? Why were you giving kids gender assignment medication? That's crazy to me. Beanie Long says, why can't we just, I love this comment by Beanie Long because I want to talk about this. Why can't we just be human? The audacity of a man to think that there are only two genders. I'm not saying, well, first of all, there are only two genders. First of all, there's male and female born on this planet for the last how many millions of years. Now, socially, what you want to identify with is different than what your actual gender is, what your born gender is. Every person on this planet passed through the legs of a woman, passed through the womb of a woman. Without that, you can't be here unless you can't be born on this planet unless you pass through the womb of a woman. Impregnated by either the sperm of a man or even artificially impregnated by whatever the sperm of a man. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't. There is no other way that you can come through this planet. There is no and that was whether you believe in God or we believe in just evolution. It is by design, evolutionary design, and by biblical or theological design, that those components of the man and the woman would make that child. And they would share those components. And that's how the child will come out, having both the components of the man and the woman. And that's how they would make the child. Until that day changes, which society is trying to change now in certain ways, where they're trying to evolve human psyche into artificial intelligence to where it's becoming non-genderized. And that may be down the road, that may be down the future, but I'm talking about today and what we're dealing with today. And I'm talking about children. I'm talking about giving children blockers and testosterone and estrogen supplements in order to help them, because they identify at 8 years old being I want to be a girl, and then at 8 years old give them that. That's ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous right there. And I don't even understand how, as a society, we could even accept that as parents. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. All right. This is an entertainment show, so let me just make a joke. Because it is a heavy subject. I get out the road. Is it like putting frosting on the cake while it's still baking? I just want to know. Is it yeah, we've already established that I'm mentally insane. Thanks, April. We've already established that I'm insane. Oh, okay. April says, easy to say when you're not the person who wants to die in their own body. I can't know what that feels like. It does not make sense to me, but I feel for children who feel like they hate their bodies and hate themselves. I don't think it's healthy for young children. I think that's the most ridiculous state. Let me explain why it's ridiculous. Because it's ridiculous because all children have confusion in their bodies as the children because they don't know their bodies. They're learning their bodies as young children. They don't know their bodies. So ultimately, to propagate that they want to die is actually creating a false sense. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that kids get so confused and depressed, but to say it's because of their sexuality, that's the reason why, is ridiculous. I think there are a lot of reasons why children are confused in society today, but it's not to blame it on to now all of a sudden give them hormone blockers to help change their sexuality at less than 10 years old is a ridiculous thing. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, but I'm not disagreeing with the social and I'm not saying kids can't feel a certain way and that they should not their feelings should not be garnered, should not be paid attention to. Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. Yeah, but that's not the argument. That's not the argument. What she's speaking to. No. I'm saying to you, Power. What April's point is not the argument. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that children can't feel a certain way, and if that's what they are, that's what they feel like. I'm saying, do you medicate them in order to continue that, to make it worse? Like, in other words, do you give them medication to sort of change their hormonal structure at 7 and 8 years old? That's why when you said I pardon for stopping you, but when you said the social construct and the social argument, I wasn't arguing the social point. I was arguing the medical point. Why are you giving children medication to move their hormones at that age, as opposed to the social argument is an entirely different argument, you know? Yeah. Go ahead, Power. Go ahead, Power. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not arguing that point. Not arguing that point. Yeah. Millions of years of male and female DNA. Uh, you cannot be. It cannot be. You're not going to know. We would need 100 years to understand what this would do, and 100 years of case study to understand how this would affect children. No, now the moral aspect of it, I think that's a personal thing. I think that's the parent's obligation to decide for their child what they think should happen. To say a child doesn't feel good in his body or whatever the case may be, there's a lot of reasons why a child doesn't feel good or feels good. I think the parents are very well involved in that process, and I think that's something that should be paid attention to. But ultimately, and that again becomes a very personal argument. But when it comes to, which is happening now, the government allowing children to be medically and hormone induced children even post puberty, I think what you're doing is, again, it's like you're adding something to a cake that's still in the oven. That's what I believe. Yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, 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 yeah. About something as powerful as gender, which is ultimately that's very powerful. Josh says, "How does he feel like a girl inside at 8?" That's Josh's question. April, well, we don't. You can't speak to that because we don't know what the kids feel because they don't know what the kids feel like. But my comment was not ridiculous. Lazy April. She's getting back at me. Control your split personality again. To another dart. I was simply speaking to the young people who express hating themselves, not confused. Hate. However, I do not agree with the meds of young kids. Ultimately, I do not understand. But in my heart feels for young people who are suffering. Again, April, we do feel for young kids who are suffering. And let me just clarify the point. And to just oversimplifying it to say it's gender, there's a lot of reasons why young people are confused inside. And you cannot say that our social reality, our propaganda, our propagandic reality by the efforts as adults to push that as socially acceptable in certain areas, or the efforts of adults to make it not socially acceptable. Right, pushing the agenda, pushing that agenda. There's forces that are opposing that agenda. There's pro and anti. So you cannot say that the toxic exhaust of those agenda do not have an effect on a young, fragile, impressionable mind. First and foremost, children are not born in a vacuum, and they are composites of not only their parents, but they're also composites of their social situations. So to just completely jump to it to say that they hate themselves only because of their sexuality, I think it's a little bit too. Yeah, that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm reading. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right, right, right. So I understand what you're saying, but being a boy and liking a boy doesn't mean you're a girl. The point I'm making to you. Yeah. Identity versus biology. Dr. D. Nice. Identity versus biology. Let's deal with that. Yeah. Right. No, nobody ever said that. Yeah. See you later, Beanie. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh, I knew this was gonna be a hot one. I knew that this was gonna be a hot one. And let me tell you something. We're not gonna get the butter from the duck today. We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get it today. Let me just say this before I go. And it is a good one. And I knew that we would fight about this a little bit because it would be different perspectives. I knew, and I'm gonna give respect to Power in April. I knew you guys would cross collateralize the point. And this is the point I was making. I didn't say that young children didn't have these feelings that had to be dealt with. The question I asked today was, should they be medicated? And well, because you guys went off topic. You guys went into the yeah. Yeah. I'll be attacked by April. I went straight to the question. I went straight to Dr. D. Nice. Was my question clear? Should they be medicated? No, but because cross collateralized to April. No, boy, talk. It's crazy. Wait. But thank you, Ja. Ja said he was clear. I didn't say anything about the way children felt or anything like that. All I said was, should children be medicated? No, you don't. I don't want you to agree with you. I want you. But what you spoke about. Wait. What you spoke about was not the question. What you guys both spoke about was the actual feelings that children were as they were going through these things. But I wasn't talking. Hey, it's April. Okay, we're gonna fight this out. All right. This is over. All right, I see you guys. We're gonna fight about this right now. We're gonna fight about this right now. We're gonna fight about this. Let me say this to you.
No, you just bring your personalities back because there are too many voices going on in your head, and you need an outlet.
I need an outlet.
Power and I are not your outlet, okay?
Yeah.
We are not your outlet.
Okay.
Bring your personality back
Okay,
and
okay.
cross-collateralize that. Peace.
Now she's gone. Now she's gone. Go to work, Beanie. Let me just say this to you. Bye, Beanie. Have a great day. Yeah. Uh-huh. But that wasn't my question. My question was not about the social implications of Medicaid. My question was about the biological implications of medicating children, prepubescent children. That's why I had a doctor on. That's why I had a doctor. I had a doctor on to speak to that. That's why. Yeah, thank you, Ja. The question was plain and simple. Thank you. It was. Yeah, well, whatever. But I'm not mad at it. I didn't ask you the question. That's the doctor. Yeah, I did. I asked Dr. D Nice. I asked Dr. D Nice the question first. I did not say I'm going to take it to. I'll go back to the tape. I'll take it to Dr. D Nice, and I said, Dr. D Nice, Dr. D Nice. I even played the music. Then after Dr. D Nice answered the bylaw, I asked you, should children be medicated? You said no, they should not be medicated. And then I went to, and then April elaborated on how children feel inside their bodies. And that's when I said her point was ridiculous because I wasn't talking about them. Well, it was ridiculous because it wasn't what we were talking about. That's why it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It wasn't what we were talking about. I'm sorry, Dally. I don't want to bring you in this. Shut up, Lace. I love this. Well, let me just say this to you. This I love you too, and this is great. This is great. This is great. This is great radio. That's what I want to I love y'all. This your boy Uncle Lace. Power is easily get off the man. Listen, no, I can handle them. Don't worry about it. They can come every they want to. Don't worry about it. I got this. I'm not nasty about it at all. How am I nasty? Love you, Power. Anyway, even if I don't agree with you, I do respect you. By the way, I do respect you. You are a brilliant, beautiful young lady. Yeah. Thank you, Deepak. I got to turn the tactic and turn the table and use their tactics against them. Thank you, D. And let me tell you something, D. You know, I ain't no chump, man. They try to get at me, but I'm not. I slip, bang, bang, bang. I come right back at them. I don't play. Allegedly. Look at it. Look, April. Shut the F up and cross collateralize that. Oh man, I knew that this was going to be a hot button topic today because I knew that we would split on it, and I knew I calculated that you guys would talk about not what I was talking about. I calculated, yes, I did. This your boy Delays. I'm just messing with you. You don't be coming here late. Men are always the best in women's eyes until we disagree and do something they don't like. Exactly. Stop being combative. Thank you. Anyway, we see you tomorrow. We'll pick this back up tomorrow, and it's gonna be even funnier tomorrow. And listen, y'all not gonna be on the phone with me, Power, and April as we argue this out, because they're not gonna agree, and they're not gonna back down. Love OSG. She put it a request. I tell you what, just got on the job late every other day. We did agree. Love y'all. Have a great day. Dr. D-Night, thank you very much for bringing some actual sensibility to this conversation, because I needed, that's why I anchored it with D-Night. I knew it was going to be, I'm not on this ish tomorrow. April is, oh man. April, you cannot control the room. I'm sorry. Be great today, everybody. You need medication, Lace. No. I've been working this. I need my pain. I'm like Captain Kirk. Anyway, have a great day. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Oh, I love that.
Just stepped in the club, 3:30. Boogie just stepped in the club, 3:30. Boogie just stepped in the club. Boogie just stepped in the club. Boogie just stepped in the club, 3:30.
Make you dance, make you shake, make you move. I wanna see you dance, see you rock.